What's going on, everybody? It's GameUnboxingReviews here, and welcome back to another news update video. So today we finally got the official release of the Ant-Man and the Wasp trailer, and man does this movie look incredible. I'm a huge fan of the original movie. I absolutely love it. I've watched it pretty much a billion times. Every time I watch it, it never gets boring. You know, it's such a fun movie to watch. It's hilarious, it's action-packed, it's just great. And to see this movie practically being the first movie but dialed up to 11 is very exciting. They're really taking everything we loved about the first movie and just making it so much better. You know, seeing all the different PIM tech and things they're using is super cool, and I just can't wait to see more. And in this video, what I'm going to be doing is basically breaking down the trailer, showcasing what you may or may not have seen, and also sharing some of my theories about what I think is going on in certain scenes. So without further ado, let's get to it. Alright, so first off, I just had to mention how much I love the Marvel Studios logo in this trailer, because of course we see, you know, with the Marvel Studios movies now, they try to open the films and the trailers with a logo that is of course Marvel Studios, but they try to make it fit the name of that film. And with this being Ant-Man and the Wasp, of course we see, you know, the Marvel Studios logo shrink and then go to normal size, and then we see something more like Wasp, and it's just really cool to see them continue that trend with the Marvel Studios logo. And I'm very excited to see what they're going to do for Avengers Infinity War and Captain Marvel as well. So at the end of Captain America Civil War, we saw Scott Lang being broken out of the raft by Captain Steve Rogers, and from the trailer we can see that Scott has now moved back to San Francisco. You know, he's probably trying to live a normal life, no more superhero shenanigans, and just try to look after Cassie. However, it's very clear that thanks to his involvement in the superhero Civil War, he is now far from being a free man. You know, he's got the FBI at his door, he's currently on house arrest, and this isn't the only thing that the Civil War has affected either, because we can see that Hope and Hank are also currently still on the run. I don't think they even have a home to go to. I think they're just living out in this van, which just goes to show that not only the characters that fought in Civil War have been affected by that massive event, which is really exciting, because I think you're going to look back on Captain America Civil War as this really good Captain America movie, but you're going to see it has had massive repercussions on the rest of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. Now this is an interesting shot that I thought was worth mentioning, because here of course we can see Hope and Hank, and they look scared. They actually look like they're watching something rather unpleasant. Now I have no idea what they're looking at, but maybe Scott is brutally hurt after a fight with Ghost, or perhaps they're not scared and more shocked. Maybe this is the scene where they have found Janet in the quantum realm, although to be honest I'm expecting that scene to feature Scott and Hope, but of course only time will tell. Now in this part of the trailer we see Hope and Hank are surrounded by the FBI in the woods, which is interesting because as you can see from this San Diego Comic-Con poster, which was released last year, we see Ant-Man and the Wasp taking on what look to be mercenaries in the woods. So the question is, does this poster showcase something that happens later in that trailer scene? Well, in the actual trailer we see that the FBI are after Hope and Hank, but in the San Diego Comic-Con poster we see just some unknown mercenaries with tanks and helicopters. Now it's totally possible that maybe the poster depicts an earlier version of this scene, and there was perhaps a last-minute change which resulted in the soldiers being swapped out for FBI agents. These kind of things happen all the time, so it's totally possible. But then of course there's the question, where is Scott Lang in this scene? Well, he could just be hiding in Hank's van, although this is Ant-Man we're talking about, so he could literally be anywhere and the FBI just would not know. Until of course turning into Giant Man, if that is what happens in this scene. Or this could all just be a huge coincidence. Either way, I thought it was interesting how similar the poster and trailer scene were, so I figured, you know, it was worth mentioning. Here we get our very first look at Laurence Fishburne playing Dr. Bill Foster, and I found this part of the trailer really interesting because the way it was cut, it made it look as if Dr. Bill Foster is working with Ghost, as if to say that he is a bad guy as well as Ghost. But here's the thing, of course, in the comics, Bill Foster becomes Goliath, who's obviously a superhero, so I really doubt that he's going to become a bad guy in this movie. You know, maybe it's more than likely perhaps Ghost has kidnapped him and forced him to help her, or something like that. That's just pure speculation, because for the true answer we're going to have to wait until this July, but I'm very excited to see more from Laurence Fishburne in this movie. Here we get a really cool look at Ghost on a motorcycle and another shot of what look to be bad guys, some driving motorcycles and others all in this white car. Now they're either working for Ghost or she has paid them to hunt down and possibly even kill Scott, Hank and Hope. Here we get a really nice look at Giant Man, and obviously when it came to Captain America Civil War, the highlight of that film was definitely Spider-Man, Black Panther, and Giant Man. So to see that we're going to get more Giant Man in this movie is very exciting. And like I said earlier, the San Diego Comic-Con poster showcases a scene involving Giant Man destroying a helicopter and taking on tanks. So definitely expect to see some big, insane moments like that in this film. Here we get an amazing first look at Hannah John-Kamen as Ghost, and she looks incredibly cool. I was really curious to see, you know, just how they were going to pull off that design in the MCU, and they've done an absolutely amazing job. She looks incredible. And Phase 3 has already had some amazing villains. If you ask me, I think Zemo, Ego, Vulture, and Hela are all amazing villains. And word is that Michael B. Jordan is one of the best MCU villains yet as Killmonger in Black Panther. So I'm extremely excited to see more from Ghost in this film, and hopefully she'll be just as good as those villains. Now, at first glance, this car probably looks like nothing, but personally, I think it might be quite important in the story, because it pops up quite a few times in the trailer. So I started thinking, you know, who could this car belong to? Well, at first I thought maybe Luis, but there's no way he could afford a car that nice, unless of course he's got a really good job at the moment and left the criminal life behind. But then I looked through the trailer again, and I noticed just how much Pym-Tech is showcased. You know, at the beginning of the trailer, we see this amazing shot of Hank shrink his building and roll it away like a suitcase, which of course he did so that no Pym-Tech research and technology fell into the wrong hands, although I'm pretty certain that'll happen anyway. Then we see Hope driving a van that can shrink, which she uses to completely destroy another bad guy's vehicle, which is an amazing scene. And at the end of the trailer, we see this hilarious scene where Wasp basically just throws a Hello Kitty Pez dispenser, and it's just incredible. So Pym-Tech is being used a lot in this film, so I'm thinking maybe it's a toy car. Maybe it's something as simple as that. It is a toy car which they can drive around in or something, and maybe it has some importance. Maybe Luis is the one driving, or maybe it's Hope. I don't know. But I definitely think that is not a proper car. I think it's a toy or something like that. Either way, we will just have to wait and see. But I definitely think that would be really cool to see and fit this movie perfectly. And going back to Luis for a second, yes, he is back. Michael Peña was absolutely hilarious as Luis in the first Ant-Man movie, so it's awesome to see him make a return in Ant-Man and the Wasp. And while we don't see them in the trailer, Kurt and Dave are also confirmed to return as well, which is great news. Can't wait to see all of them again, and I hope they're just as funny as they were in the first movie. Now, this is probably a vehicle that was designed to help the team explore the quantum realm, and more importantly, help with finding Janet and bringing her back home. And we do see what looks to be the quantum realm right here. However, as we can see from the trailer, Hank and Hope have nowhere to go. So maybe it's not Hank, Hope, or Scott driving this vehicle in the quantum realm. Maybe it's Ghost. Maybe she is the one that has stole this vehicle for her own personal use. Perhaps she knows where Janet is and wants to get to her before Hank and the team for some unknown reason. You know, this trailer, she's a very mysterious villain. We don't really know anything about this character, which I think is great because I think it will make for a surprising villain in the actual movie. So I hope they don't give away too much about this character because she seems really cool. Now, the last thing to mention about this trailer is obviously Evangeline Lilly. She absolutely killed it as Wasp in this trailer, and that gets me so excited for the movie, because if she's this good in the trailer, imagine what else she does in this movie. Really exciting stuff. And the scene at the end where she dodged the knife was absolutely amazing, and the fact that they gave Hope blasters is just so cool, because I was really wondering if they were going to do that or not, and the fact that they did is really great to see. And we also see that her suit can shoot blue Pym particle discs, which can of course cause any object they hit to grow to a giant size. And it's also what Scott used to get out of the quantum realm in the first Ant-Man movie. So maybe Hope will use it on herself this time. It would be pretty amazing to see a final team-up battle with Giant Scott and Giant Hope taking on Ghost. That would be pretty incredible. Alright guys, so before we wrap up this video, I just want to talk about the release date for this movie, because people are probably wondering, why does it release after Avengers Infinity War? Well, despite this film being released after that movie, it very much looks to be set either right after Captain America Civil War, or around the same time as Spider-Man Homecoming, Thor Ragnarok, and Black Panther. And I think the reason for that is because Avengers Infinity War is going to be this massive ensemble movie. You're talking Guardians, Avengers, Spider-Man, Black Panther, Doctor Strange, all these characters coming together to take on Thanos and the Black Order. You know, it's going to be an absolutely massive film full of huge moments and possibly even character deaths, which, to be honest, should be expected. So I think we're all going to kind of need a breather until Avengers 4. You know, after Avengers Infinity War, so much is going to happen, and I think the right thing to do after that would be to put out a little fun movie called Ant-Man and the Wasp. And then after that, we'll have Captain Marvel, which should be a fun, but also an interesting movie as well. And then after those two movies is Avengers 4, and that's when we get back to the serious story. So I understand why Marvel has done that, and I think that's actually really clever. And I'm looking forward to all of them. You know, Avengers Infinity War, Black Panther, Ant-Man and the Wasp, and Captain Marvel, and Avengers 4. They're all going to be incredible movies, and I'll be waiting for them because they're just going to be so good. Anyway, guys, I want to thank you very much for watching. Stay tuned for lots more videos real soon, and as always, please remember to like, comment, and subscribe.